Hello everybody. So in today's session, let us discuss with the previous session topics continuation. So in the last session, we had discussed with the module 2 first chapter. So that is file attributes and its permission. So actually in the last session, we had discussed with this module 2 introduction content itself. So in that it includes 3 chapters. So in that the first chapter is all about basic file attributes and its permission. So, and the second chapter is about the shell interpreter cycle, and the last chapter is all about how to write a shell script itself. So, I had discussed with the first chapter basic file attributes and permission. So, in that even we had discussed with few of the concepts. So, that is, so in that first we had discussed with ls-l listing the file attributes. Okay, next -d option listing the directory attributes, and also we had discussed with the file ownership and the file permission. So these are the contents we had discussed. So in that first content was ls-l. So what is this ls-l represent here? So the ls-l here represent, it is going to list out file attribute content, that is the file attributes information in a 7 columnar output. So that 7 columnar output, it is going to display with the 7 attribute content of a file. So that is, one is the first column always. So if I consider, let me take one example. So if I consider an ordinary file like so this is one of the output. Let me consider ls-l. This command has been executed. Okay, so next what is the output of it? So let me give the file name itself. So I am going to give the file name as chapter 1. So in the file name, it is chapter 1. The permission the attributes of that particular file will be displayed in this format if you execute the ls with an option of -l. So 1, so this belongs to some user, then this belongs to some group, followed by size of that particular file size. Next it is going to display me with what? The last modification time. So in that last modification time, this 6th, 7th and 8th column. So this 3 attribute displays the last modification time, in which it includes the month, day and the time, and lastly the file name. So this is what the output if you are going to execute any of the file with an option L to list out. Okay, so what is this first column represent? What is the second represent? What is this represent? What does this represent? What does this represent? What these 3 content represent here? So the first output or the first content what has been displayed here. So as you can see, the first letter in that, it is what? Hyphen, which means that, so this hyphen represent, it's an ordinary file what you are listing to display. Next, the permission, the next following that hyphen, it is going to display the permission of the file. So the permission of the file here is, so here the permission of the file has been categorized into 3 categories. So those 3 categories are user, next group, next is what? Others. Okay, so these are the 3 categories of permission which has been assigned for the file chapter 1. So the user of this group is Kumar. Okay, and the group, it belongs to metal, and others means anybody can execute this file. So here as you can see, the permission has been assigned for this particular file chapter 1 as what? For user, read, write and execute permission is there. So R represents read, W represent write, X represent what? Execute here, and R for group only read permission has been assigned. For others only read permission has been assigned, whereas the other 2 permission, write and execute permission, has not been assigned for what? Group and others. So the next column here, or the next output here, displays the link associated to that particular file. That means the file has been, the number of the file number which has been associated, the link which has been associated to the file chapter 1. So any other file name with the same, whether a link has been provided for the same file chapter 1 or not. So if it is more than 1 means the same file name has been repeated here. The link number is more than 1. So the third output of this, or the third column output here, it displays what? the user of this particular file, or the owner of the particular file. So the owner of the file here is what? Kumar. Next is what? Metal. So in this metal, what does this represent here is, this is going to display the group of this particular file belongs to. So Kumar so the file chapter 1 belongs to the group metal. So under this group, whoever has been there, let me assume I have 5 users within this group means, so all those 5 users can access this chapter 1 file. Okay, so and those 5 users will have only the read permission here. Next is what? Byte size. So byte size, this column represent the chapter 1 byte size. So this chapter 1 byte size always represent the amount of data, the amount of character data which has been present within the chapter 1. It doesn't show you the disk space, that is memory space of the file chapter 1. Instead, the number of character present within that chapter 1, that size will be displayed here. Next is what? The next 3 output, that is last modification time, 6th, 7th and 8th column. So this is the first column, this is the second column, this is third column, 4th column, 5th column. So this is 6th, 7th and 8th, and this is the 9th column. So 6, 7, 8 represent the last modification time of this file. So here the last modification time of the file, if you have changed only the permission and if you have changed the ownership of the file means, the last modification time will not affect. Instead, if you have changed or modified a content within a file means, then the modification time is going to be changed here. So this is what the last modification time, and last column represent the file name of that particular listing what you have displayed. So this was discussed in the previous class. Along with that, we had discussed with this option D, that is for listing the directory attributes. So here for listing the directory attributes, what we have listed out here is, it is going to list out those files which are directory files. Okay, so by using ls, -d with any of the directory. So if you are under the current directory like home/Kumar means, so under Kumar how many directory files are there, so those number of directory files will be displayed here. So ls-d. Okay, so if you want to list out all the attributes of this also means, along with this d even you can execute what? ld. So -ld. So this is what directory file attribute, that is -d represent here. So next we have discussed with the file ownership and the file permission. So what is this file ownership and the file permission represent in the Unix file system? So the file ownership, so if in case if the user want to know the ownership of the, that is who is actually owner of that file, and also how to change the file permission. So by default the permission will be set for each and every file. Okay, so whichever you are going to create. So if the user has created any one of the file within a system, that is Unix file system means, by default he will become the user of that particular file or owner of that particular file. So owner or the user, if I refer further in this basic file attribute means, always it refers with the owner. Okay, owner of that file itself. So user and owner are the same. So next, if the user want to know with respect to like where actually all this that is unique file identification number has been stored once the file has been created means, so system administrator what he does is, so it is by default once any file has been created within a Unix file system, a unique identification number as that is UID and GID will get created for that particular file, that is to which group that file belongs to, and also who can access that file under that group, and owner of that group unique identification number. So that can be known by under the path, that is /etc/password. So under this path you can know the UID and the GID. UID represent unique identification number, GID represent group identification number. So unique identification number will display the name and the identification number, GID will display just the number if you are under this path. So if the user want to know with respect to what the group identification name and number means, So then that can be visible within the directory path etc/group. So this is going to get you the GID of, that is group identification number with respect to name and the identification number of that particular file. Next is what we had discussed with the file permission. So in the file permission we had discussed with the content in the previous in the previous session, that is while assigning any file permission, so by default, so if I consider this, okay, so as you can see here, the permission, the file type and the permission in the first column output, what it has been displayed, it is the file type and the permission of that particular file assigned for 3 categories of user. So this actually follows a 3-tier system, okay, a 3-tier access protective right permission for accessing the file permission within the Unix file system. A 3-tier system is going to be followed here. So what is the 3-tier system here refers to means, architecture refers to here is, so here it refers with what, user, group and what, others. So user is one category, group is another category and others is another category. So for all these 3 categories of user, a permission has been assigned. So RWX, so for user, which means that read, write and execute permission has been provided for this. So this RWX is an abbreviation for what? For read, for write and for execute. Okay. Likewise, for user, U represents user and G represent group and O represent others. So these are the abbreviation for read, write, execute permission, and these are the 3 categories of user, group and others. So these 3 categories, for all these 3 categories, the permission assigned is in this way. So it has been assigned with the bits, with the 9 bits. So the first 3 bit represent user, the next 3 bit represent group, the last 3 group represent what, others here. So here if I consider this itself, so the permission has been assigned for user is read, write and execute. For group and other, only read permission has been assigned. Execute and writable permission has not been assigned for this group and others. So obviously, so if the user want to make that file secure means always for either for group and others, he should provide only the read permission. So that only it makes what Unix file system as secure. If not, it does not, it doesn't make sense that for how you are going to make the file system, it's a Unix file system as what, secure here. So if in case, if even you can provide for group user as what, for group category you can provide read and execute permission but not the writable permission, whereas for others always it's better to give only the read permission, not to execute, as well as for edit permission also, that is writable permission. So these are the contents what we have discussed in the previous session. Along with that, we had discussed with this chmod, that is changing the file permission. So now I have discussed with all these 3 categories, that is how to create a file ownership, how to know the file ownership and how to create a file permission, that is understand about the file permission in the Unix file system. So now we will discuss with this chmod, that is changing the file permission. So changing the file permission, so this is one of the command, chmod is one of the command used for assigning the file permission for all the 3 categories of user. So that can be assigned in 2 ways, or it can be specified with 2 ways. So one way is what, relative permission, and the other way of assigning the permission for the file is absolute permission. So relative permission specifies the changes to the current permissions. Current permission means now if the user want to change any file permission which he is executing, and if he wants to provide any permission, either read permission, write permission for all the 3 categories of user, like as I said, user, group and others means, or for all these 3 categories, then he can use this relative permission. Whereas absolute permission specifies the final permission. So once you have provided any file with the permission means it is final, it can't be changed once again. So that is what This absolute and relative. So whereas in relative you can change the permission as and when you want, whereas once you have used with the absolute permission for any file, you can't change. So only it specifies the final permission within the Unix file system. So these two ways of assigning the permission or changing the file permission using chmod has been discussed. So we'll discuss with these two absolute permission and relative permission in today's session. So let me go with the first one, that is how to change the file permission using the relative mode. Okay. So in the relative mode, as I said, it is going to specify me with what? It is going to specify just the current permission of the system, sorry, current permission of that particular file. So let me consider the relative permission. So the syntax of assigning a relative permission using chmod here is chmod followed by next category, next operation. Okay, so after that permission, then the file name or file names. So you can give like this also. So that is what, this is how the syntax used for assigning the relative permission. Okay, so chmod, so as I have discussed, chmod is used for what? Changing the file permission, so for any file. So for syntax of accessing the, providing the file permission or modifying the file permission for that file which you have created or already existing file if you have means. So how we are going to change the file permission here? So first syntax is category, chmod, category, operation, permission and file name. So what does this category represent here? So category represent user, then group, then others. Okay, so that is U, G and O. Then what is this operation represent? So operation represent assign permission, which is represented with the plus symbol, and remove permission, which is represented with the minus symbol or hyphen symbol. So assign permission with the plus, remove operation with the hyphen. Next, permission refers to the 3 bits of permission, that is read, write and execute. So read, write and execute. So read is R, W is write and X is execute. And the last one is what? The file name. So this is what the abbreviation for all these 3 arguments of chmod: category, operation and permission. So category, user, group and others, operation plus or remove, that is assign or remove, permission represent with read, write and execute. So next is, after this concept, after understanding these, now let me know like how we are going to assign the permission. So let us consider one of the file which has a default file permission here. So that like assume that I have created a file cat, okay, cat with a file pg.c or pg.text file. Okay, so I have created the file pg.text file. Now, so this is, as I said in the previous module, so cat command is used for 2 purposes. One purpose is for displaying the content of the file name which you are providing for this command, and the other one is by using this redirection operator. By using this redirection operator, you can use what? Edit the content once you have created the file. So pg.text, so this is going to read, that is create a file pg.text by using this redirection operator, and it is going to prompt you to enter the content. So now I am going to enter the content like hello world. Okay, so now I have this content. So for coming out of it, just press Ctrl D. So this is the interrupt key for entering to a command prompt. Okay, so now I want to list out, check out what the permission of this pg.txt file. Assume that you are under the directory home/Kumar. Okay, so you are under the directory home/Kumar, and under this Kumar directory the pg.txt file has been created. So ls-l. So under the Kumar directory I am actually accessing with this word pg.txt file. So pg.txt file. Okay. So now I want, if I execute this command ls-l pg.txt file means, so it is going to list out me with all the permission like this. This belongs to Kumar and this belongs to some group DBA. Next, after DBA the file size, okay, it is going to display. After that it is going to display the time and finally the file name. Okay, so this is what the content of list will be displayed if you execute ls-l. So now as you can see here, I have the permission for this particular file as what? So this represent an ordinary file, hyphen represent an ordinary file. Okay, if it is D here instead of hyphen, if it is D here means it is a directory file, but since I am executing an ordinary file, so it is ordinary file which is represented with hyphen. Next, this 3 category represent owner permission, this 3 bits represent group permission, this is owner permission, and this 3 bits represent other permission. Okay, so now for owner he has the permission of read, write and execute. For group only read permission, others also only read permission. So what if in case if I want to assign a group the execute permission? So how do I assign for a group the execute permission using this relative permission mode with the syntax of this? So I can assign that with, I will write here itself for this particular file, that is chmod. Category is, which category I want to assign? For group. What is the operation, whether I have to assign or remove? I have to assign what permission, that is executable permission. So plus execute permission has been assigned with what? X abbreviation. So G plus X, permission is X, operation is plus, and category is G, then the file name. So which is the file I want to provide? That is pg.txt. Okay, so this is how you are going to assign the permission using a relative permission mode based on the syntax. So chmod, then category is group, operation is plus, that is assign, permission is execute permission you are providing for this group, and file name is pg.txt. So this is how you are going to assign it. So even if you want to assign, assume that even I want to assign for others also means, you can give together G followed by O plus X like this also. So even this is permittable. Okay. So this is about your how to assign a permission to a existing file with that of a group or others. Likewise, now if I want to remove the read and execute permission from the all the 3 categories of user, that is owner, group and others. So how do I remove that? So you can remove the permission of this execute. Now if you just execute, whether this permission has been assigned or not, if you want to check out means, again you have to execute this ls-l pg.txt file. So let me execute that, show you that. So once you execute, this is what the output you will get. So ls-l pg.txt, right? So now if I want, after assigning this permission, again if I execute ls-l with pg.txt means, so then I am going to get the permission like this. So this is how the permission, and as you can see here, the last modification time is not been changed because you are not modifying the content of the file, instead you are just modifying the file permission. So the size is last modification time will not get changed here. If you just modify the content of this file pg.txt means, then this modification time is going to be changed here. So after this, if you execute this ls-l pg.text means, so this is what the output you will get. So now how to remove the same permission for all the three categories of user, that is execute permission. So what if in case if I want to remove all the three for all the three categories execute permission. So again you can do that by using chmod. Category is all the three, that is user, group, others. Remove, for removing hyphen is the symbol or minus is the symbol, x pg dot text. So this is operation, this is permission, this is category. So for this UGO, even you can use A option or A category. So this A represent all. So you are, if any user is accessing all the three categories for either assigning or for removing the permission, means instead of typing UGO, he can directly use what, A minus X like this. So both are same. So either you can go with this UGO-X or you can give A-X pg.text. So this is how you are going to execute your file permission using a relative permission mode. So this is one simple example I have said you, like how you are going to change or access the file permission. Okay. Now what if in case if so to assign the execute permission to any user of the file which has been copied from one, assume that you are copying the content of file from one file to another file, the same. Okay, so at that time what will be the output, that is file permission output will be provided for that copied content file. Okay, so I will show you that also. So if you have copied, assume now I already have what, under home directory, under Kumar, I have this pg.text file, right? I have this pg.text file. So if I want to copy this file, okay, or redirect the content of this file to another file, like, so by using this cat command, what I will do is, I am going to redirect the content of the file home/kumar/pg.text, redirect the content of pg.text file to what, pg1.text. So now the content of pg.text file has been redirected to what, pg1.text file. So what will be the permission of this now, ls-l pg1.text. Since you are under the Kumar directory, even this pg1.text file will also be located under this Kumar directory itself. So R, so since it is an ordinary file, pg1.text file is an ordinary file, so R, and this is the one, so this belongs to Kumar, belongs to DBA group. Okay, next, content of this file, next last modification time, next pg1.text file. So this is what the output you will get. So as you can see here, the file permission for all the three categories of user is been assigned in this way. So for owner only read and write, whereas execute is not provided. For group only read, even for others only read permission has been assigned. So if you want to assign execute permission for user, group and others, you can give like A plus X like this, or if you want to provide only for user, means you can give U plus X, that is chmod user plus X followed by file name pg1.text file. So this is how you are going to give the permission using the relative mode. So next is, so this expression is for assigning. Likewise, if you want to remove u-x pg1.text, chmod u-x pg1.text. So this is with assigning and this is with removing. removing the file permission and assigning the file permission for pg1.text, pg1.text file. So what if in case if the user want to accept a multiple file names in the by using the chmod. So if the user want to access multiple file for the by using the chmod, and if he wants to assign the file permission using the chmod means, even that is also possible. So assume that I have 3 files under this. So as of now I have these 2 files, right? Even I have one more file. Okay, let me rub this first and explain that. pg.text file, pg1.text, pg2.text file, pg3.text file. So assume we have these 4 files under the Kumar directory. By using ls command you can list out. If you just provide ls, it is going to list out all the files under the directory Kumar here. So applying or checking multiple file name, checking multiple file name permission using what? chmod. So chmod u plus x assigned for pg1.text, pg2.text file, then pg3.text file. So you can assign for multiple files the permission for the user. For all these 3 files, the user will be assigned with what? Execute permission. So by default read and write permission will be assigned. Okay, so if he is the one who has created the file, the owner is the one who has created the file means he will be having by default read, write and execute permission, whereas for group and others only read permission will be assigned. Okay, so if the user want to assign execute permission only for user means he can provide like this: u plus x pg1.text, pg2.text, pg3.text for multiple file names. So likewise, this is one way of accessing your chmod using relative manner or relative permission mode. So even you can remove or what? Permission by using this relative mode. So if you want to check out whether for all these 3 files execute permission has been assigned for the user means, you have to execute what? ls-l. Okay, ls-l. Since you are under the current directory, so it is going to list out So this is what you will get. So this is what the output you will get when you execute the file. This is pg.text, pg1.text, pg2.text, pg3.text. So these are the permission assigned for. Since here I have given u plus x for user for all the 3 files pg1, pg2 and pg3. So for all these 3 files execute permission has been assigned for user category, and since it is an ordinary file, so the starting letter of this file type has been represented with hyphen. So this represent user or the owner. So this is about your relative permission mode or relative permission assigning. So for removing, instead of plus you can just give what? Hyphen x. So at that time it is going to remove all the permission of execute permission like this once you execute this. So this is about your relative permission mode. So to restore the original permission to the file which you have removed means you can assign again once again, and if you want to remove it means you can just give what? Assign permission, that is plus. So we do have in this one more variation. So you can access the categories, that is the file permission category, in a multiple expression also. So we call this as what? An expression. Okay. So you can provide the file permission with more than 2 expression also. So let me tell you that how to assign multiple multiple expression, more than one expression for a file, one of the file. So assume that I have a file ls-l with the file dot text file. Okay. So file dot text file represent so file dot text. Now, so this is what the file dot text file attributes are. So this is an ordinary file. The first column represent the file type and its permission. So since it is an ordinary file, so it is represented with hyphen. Next it is what? The first 3 bits represent user, next group, and for others. So for user all the 3 permission has been assigned. For group, read and execute. For this others, read and execute. Link is only one file has been associated with that particular file name. Kumar is a user owner of that particular file. DBA is a group which this file belongs to, and okay, for under this group file dot text file belongs, and whoever is there in the DBA group, all those members can access the file dot text file. This is the byte size, last modification time, and the file name. So now, as I said, if I want to write a multiple expression by using the chmod for the same file means, yes, you can do that. So chmod. Okay, so since here I have execute permission for all the 3 categories, right, for UGO. So instead of you writing UGO, I am going to take it as A-X. So A represent all the 3 categories of user, group, and others. Next, so this is by using a comma operator, you can separate 2 multiple expression. Next, assign what? Read. So let me assign the write permission for only what? For the group. For the group I will assign what? Write permission. So for the group I am going to assign the write permission. So as of now I have 3, for all the 3 categories I have the execute permission, so I am removing it. Next, I am assigning the write permission for group. So you have provided with 2 multiple expression here, and for the file dot text. And as I said in the initial classes of module 1, so you can execute 2 commands, Unix commands at a time by combining. So you can combine your 2 commands by separating those 2 commands with the semicolon. So ls-l file dot txt file. So now, which means that it has been removed with the execute permission for file dot text for all the 3 categories, and for group write permission has to be assigned. So this permission has to be applied for the file dot text. So for knowing that, I have executed the command ls-l file dot text. So it is an ordinary file. So this is what the output you will get. As you can see, for all the three categories, execute permission has been absent or it has been removed. Hyphen for user, group for group also hyphen, for others also it has been hyphen in the place of execute permission. And as you can see, I have assigned write permission for group. So before it was absent, now it is present in the group. So this three bits represent group, this others, this represent user or the owner. So this is how you can assign the file permission. Multiple expression permission can be assigned for a single file. You can apply that. So even you can give more than one permission at a time. So as of now, till now I have only shown you how to assign a single permission for each and every category, right? So even you can provide. So what if in case if I want to restore the same, okay, and restore this and have to assign what this also. So chmod for user for for all you can assign what? For all the three categories you can assign read and write permission, or else just assign read and execute permission like this. So if you want to assign multiple permissions, so here I had executed or shown you with only a single permission, but here I am showing multiple permission. So you can give RWX for all the three categories of user and you can execute like this. So even this is possible. So this is how you can have your relative permission mode. So this is about your relative permission mode, how to change the current file permission for an existing file or for an already or for a created file as of now. So this is about your relative permission. So next is in this we do have an absolute permission mode or absolute permission by using this chmod for file permission, changing the file permission. So what is this chmod file permission with respect to what? Absolute permission. So how we are going to change the permission? So this absolute permission, as I have already specified, so it specifies the final permission. So it specifies the final permission of any of the file. Okay, so here when user wants to know that a file's current permissions are, but want to set all the 9 permission bits explicitly. So if you want to set all the 9 bits explicitly, so that can be done by using this chmod expression, by using chmod change command, that is changing file permission. Okay, so you can change your file permission with the final thing here is by using a octal number or octal digit value, octal digit values. Okay, so which has been represented with octal digits values from 0 to 7. Okay, and since you are going to, since all my permission in the Unix file system, it has been represented with a bits, right? Explicitly it has been represented with a bits like RWX, RWX, RWX with all 3 categories of user with 9 bits explicitly. So now this binary this bits can be represented by using a base 8 in this octal digit. So by using this base 8, octal digit value can also be represented from 0 to 7. This base 8 represent what? A binary digit value. So you can represent all this 9 bits by using this base 8 concept here. So how to represent that here is octal digit value from 0 to 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me, I think I won't have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, so base 8, that is from 0 to 7, and octal values are digit values are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Binary digit is, it has been explicitly represented as, for 0 it is all the 3 bits are as you all know, for 0 all the 3 bits will be 0 itself, or it will be absent. For 1 bit should get enabled, this one, right? So here 0 0 0, here only 1 bit will get enabled, that is 2 power 0 is 1. So for 2 it is 2 power 1, this will get enabled. For 3 it is 2 power 1 plus 2 power 0. For this it is 2 power 2, that is 1 0 0. For 5 it is 1 0 1. For 6 it is 1 1 0. For 7 it is 111. So this is the binary representation. Okay, and this is the octal values, octal digit value. And now how to represent this binary representation with the file permission for an absolute permission here. Okay, so that can be represented, the permission has been represented, since each and every permission for all the 3 categories of user, group and others is represented in a bits, right? Write, read and execute, that is read, write and execute. So 0 means read, write, execute is all 3 are disabled, whereas for 1 it is read and write, only execute is enabled, and for this only write is enabled. For this only write and execute is enabled for 4, whereas for 5 this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6 and this is 7. Okay, so for 5, that is, for 4 it is read is enabled, for this read and execute, for this read, write, execute is absent, for this all the 3 are enabled. So this is how you are going to provide the file permission for the 3 categories of user. So significance, what and all the significance, what does this permission represent here is all 3 permission are absent. Here execute only, here write only, and this write and execute, and this read only, this read and execute only, and this read and write. Here all 3 permission. So by using these octal digit values, you are going to represent the file permission for, by using the absolute permission by using the chmod command. So this is about your representation for changing the file permission using absolute permission mode. So we will discuss the complete thing, how we are going to assign all these octal digit value, how we are going to represent this permission using this absolute permission mode in the next session. So in today's session we have discussed only with the one of the concept, that is relative permission mode using the changing the file permission command, that is chmod. Okay, so thank you all.